Imagine standing on a creaking wooden ship in the middle of the vast Atlantic Ocean. It's October 12th, 1492, and the endless expanse of ocean stretches in every direction, a seemingly infinite blue void that has tormented your senses for weeks. The waves relentlessly batter the hull, their rhythmic thumping mingling with the desperate whispers of crew members who fear they'll never see land again. Salt spray crusts your skin and stings your eyes. Exhaustion and tension hang thick in the salty air. Christopher Columbus himself stands on the bow of the Santa Maria, his gaze fixed obsessively on the horizon, desperate for a miracle. Then, a shout cuts through the dawn, sharp, frantic, hopeful. Rodrigo de Triana, a sailor aboard the Pinta, is pointing wildly. Eyes widen as heads snap to attention, straining forward, staring desperately into the pale dawn. There it is, a shadowy outline against the pink and gold hues of the sunrise, barely visible, but unmistakably real. A pulse of electric excitement surges through every man aboard the fleet. Hearts race, breath quickens. After months at sea filled with hunger, doubt, and despair, land has finally appeared like a lifeline in the endless ocean. Columbus, filled with the overwhelming rush of vindication and destiny, kneels briefly, thanking God for the deliverance he has prayed for night after sleepless night. Around him, sailors erupt into joyous celebration, embracing and dancing on the worn decks. The horizon line sharpens as the sun climbs higher, revealing lush greenery, a paradise appearing slowly, like an unfolding dream. Driven by adrenaline, the crew makes rapid preparations. Sails flutter as they maneuver closer, anchors are readied, and the anticipation of what lies ahead grips everyone with thrilling uncertainty. Columbus, cloaked in a majestic cape that flaps heroically in the ocean breeze, orders the landing party prepared. Small boats are lowered, bobbing gently as they touch the water, carrying Columbus and his closest advisors toward shore. Their oars cut sharply through crystalline waves as anticipation thickens. Every stroke feels historic, each splash resonating like a drumbeat announcing a new era. Finally, the boats grind softly onto sand, and Columbus leaps ashore, planting his boots firmly on untouched soil. Kneeling reverently, he kisses the earth beneath him, his hands trembling with awe. His voice resonates powerfully as he proclaims this land for Spain, declaring it a divine providence and naming it San Salvador. The moment is heavy with grandeur and the weight of centuries yet to unfold. Curious eyes observe from the dense foliage nearby. Emerging slowly, cautiously, are figures, people unlike any the Europeans have ever encountered. The indigenous Taíno, their bronzed skin gleaming under the tropical sun, approach with hesitant wonder and cautious openness. Their expressions shift between astonishment, curiosity, and wariness. Columbus steps forward confidently, extending his hand in a universal gesture of peace. Gifts are exchanged: glass beads, brightly colored fabrics, and small metal objects from the Europeans, fruits, parrots, and finely crafted ornaments from the Taíno. Communication, though awkward and reliant heavily on gestures, slowly bridges the cultural chasm between these two vastly different worlds. Columbus marvels at their appearance, their customs, and their way of life, simple yet deeply harmonious with nature. To Columbus, however, the native people represent opportunity. Potential converts to Christianity, trading partners, and, crucially, proof of the wealth and resources he had promised the Spanish monarchs. Hours pass swiftly as Columbus and his crew explore the surroundings. They document everything meticulously: the rich flora and fauna, the fertile land teeming with promise, and the cultural practices of their new acquaintances. They marvel at brightly colored birds flitting overhead and trees heavy with unfamiliar, enticing fruits. Every detail intensifies their excitement and reaffirms their belief that they have reached the edges of Asia, unaware that this discovery will rewrite humanity's understanding of the world forever. By day's end, Columbus commands the construction of a makeshift cross, a powerful symbol of their intent to bring Christianity to this untouched land. With solemn prayers and religious rites, the wooden cross rises against the backdrop of the sunset, casting long shadows that symbolize both the hope and darkness soon to intertwine in this new world. The Spanish presence is officially established, and with it, the seeds of both connection and conquest. Returning to their ships as night falls, the crew is overwhelmed by conflicting emotions: pride, excitement, ambition, but also unease. They gaze back at the faint outlines of the island, its beauty now cloaked in twilight mystery, unaware of the profound impact this encounter will have on global history. Columbus sits quietly in contemplation, knowing deep down that this is just the beginning. They have discovered a land ripe with promise, yet fraught with complexities that will challenge and transform them in ways they cannot yet imagine. This day, etched deeply into human history, marks the beginning of a dramatic new chapter. Columbus's discovery isn't just a geographic milestone. It's the moment when two worlds collide, forever altering the course of human civilization, triggering waves of exploration, conflict, conquest, and cultural fusion that resonate to this very day. Columbus awakens before dawn the next day, his mind buzzing with endless possibilities and strategic plans for exploration. He walks quietly to the deck, listening to the gentle lap of waves against the hull, lost in thoughts of grandeur and ambition. Around him, the crew stirs, energized by yesterday's historic events. As the sun rises, bathing the landscape in golden brilliance, Columbus commands detailed surveys of the land to identify resources valuable to Spain. Every man aboard knows their findings will determine their future fame and fortune. The promise of wealth and titles, whispered enthusiastically during the voyage, now seems tantalizingly close. Exploration parties disperse quickly, meticulously mapping the island's contours. Sailors and officers carefully catalog the abundant wildlife, marveling at brilliant macaws squawking in emerald canopies and turtles basking lazily on pristine beaches. They record towering trees, fruits abundant in rich sweetness, and herbs unfamiliar yet fascinatingly aromatic. Columbus himself ventures inland, his experienced eyes meticulously appraising everything: the fertile soil perfect for planting, streams teeming with fish, and the landscape ideal for establishing settlements. Every discovery reinforces the notion of boundless potential waiting to be harnessed by European ambition. Encounters with the indigenous Taíno continue to unfold, transitioning from cautious curiosity to deeper interaction. Despite language barriers, Columbus recognizes the natives' sincerity and innocence, traits he believes will ease Spain's dominance over them. The Taíno offer sustenance, teaching Europeans about maize cultivation, root vegetables, and medicinal plants previously unknown. Columbus observes with fascination, imagining the invaluable benefits these new resources could bring to Europe: new food sources to relieve famine, medicines to combat diseases, and spices more precious than gold. Yet, beneath the veil of exploration and friendly exchanges, subtle tensions simmer. Columbus notes the Taínos' precious gold adornments, bracelets, necklaces, and trinkets gleaming enticingly under sunlight. The realization that wealth lies within reach transforms his plans dramatically. His directives now include urgent searches for gold deposits, driven by an insatiable hunger for riches promised to Spanish royalty. He instructs his men, their eyes glittering greedily, to discreetly inquire and scout locations where gold might be abundant. The crew's mood subtly shifts, emboldened by visions of unimaginable wealth. Columbus's initial mission of discovery quickly expands into a deliberate strategy for economic exploitation. Every interaction becomes dual purpose, fostering goodwill while simultaneously gathering intelligence on valuable resources. Columbus, steadfastly believing in his divine right to claim these lands, rationalizes the evolving mission as a sacred duty. spreading Christianity, civilization, and Spanish culture to peoples he perceives as simple and malleable. Days turn into weeks as this island and neighboring territories are meticulously charted, each detail dutifully recorded in journals destined to alter world maps forever. However, amid triumphant successes, friction subtly emerges within the crew. Exhaustion and disagreement simmer beneath surface enthusiasm as debates erupt over management of newfound resources, authority, and the division of anticipated spoils. Columbus, acutely aware of potential mutiny, navigates these turbulent waters with shrewd diplomacy, promising great rewards to ensure loyalty. Meanwhile, unknown diseases silently invade the indigenous population, consequences unseen and unintended. Initial contacts unknowingly transmit devastating illnesses, initiating tragedies destined to ripple devastatingly through native societies. These invisible scourges begin reshaping the region far more rapidly than Columbus's own strategies or intentions, marking the first shadowy steps toward unprecedented upheaval. As Columbus prepares to return to Spain, laden with samples of exotic flora, fauna, and gold artifacts intended to dazzle royal patrons, he gazes thoughtfully toward the horizon. This journey, he knows instinctively, is just beginning. Ahead lies a future brimming with glory, yet fraught with moral complexities and grave responsibilities that weigh heavily upon his soul. Standing once more aboard his ship as the coastline fades, Columbus feels a profound shift within himself. Pride mixes uneasily with a newfound, unsettling awareness. He has opened a door he cannot close, igniting transformations whose enormity he can scarcely fathom. The ripples of his voyage will swell into tidal waves, reshaping continents and civilizations, heralding an age of exploration, conquest, and global interconnectedness that humanity had never before experienced.